Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Tim Shurr here. Thanks so much for tuning in to Maximizing Your Influence. We are filming from my library here. I hear the cuckoo clock going off, so that means it's 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so I'm glad that you're with me. So our show is all about maximizing your influence. It's about learning how to use the power of your mind to create your life by design. And so let me give you a quick little background on me, and then our topic tonight is on how to make more money, because it's something that everybody asks all the time. How do I make more money? And so real quick on me. So I ran a chain of hypnosis practices and a hypnotism school for about 22 years, where I did over 10,000 sessions walking around in people's unconscious mind, trying to figure out what makes us tick, trying to figure out how to help us feel safe and secure inside, how to use the power of our mind to prepare us instead of scare us, right? And how to be able to accomplish incredible goals. And through that, I really got a deep understanding of how you have to think in order to succeed and follow through and achieve success, right? And also what happens inside that causes us to get stuck, to self-sabotage, to feel like we can't, we're so close to getting what we want, but we can't quite get there. And so I listened to lots of people and understood that there are recipes and strategies that people use that will either cause them to succeed in a big way or fail in a big way. And so I took that and then I put it into books, right? And so I did the Barnes & Noble tour and traveled around and did a lot of talks promoting the books and the programs, teaching people how to use the power of their mind, right? And that was a lot of fun. And then I ended up taking it to TV. So I did over 100 TV and radio appearances, and that was a lot of fun. And then I took it into corporate America and started showing employees and managers how to communicate more effectively. I taught sales teams how to sell more effectively. And so my clients there have generated millions of dollars in additional revenue because of these brain training secrets and the communication strategies. So that's a little bit about my background. So now I want to share some of the things that I've learned about making money with you. Because when I first started out, I didn't have a clue on how to make money, right? I was a kid from a blue-collar family. My dad worked at worked at the mill. My mom was in the PTA. I grew up around cornfields. I didn't know anything about corporate America or being a business owner. I had to learn how to do all of that. And so it's really been a 27-year odyssey for me to figure out how to actually grow a business and become a small business owner, right? And go through that experience of having employees and creating franchisees and all kinds of different things, training people around the world. So it's been quite a ride, and I've learned a lot because I've wore all the hats. And so let me share a few strategies with you. So I'm going to start with a little story, right? Because a lot of times our greatest breakthroughs and your greatest breakthroughs are hidden in the places you don't want to go, right? They're just kind of seem to be right in that place that you keep putting off. And if you can find the courage, and I can help you get there, but if you find the courage to go into that place, you're going to find that you are so much more powerful than you even realized. And once you're there, you'll look back and you'll be like, I don't know why I was worried to begin with, right? I got this. And so the point I'm trying to make is that a lot of times, we can't seem to get where we want to be, and then life kicks us in the butt, and we get challenged, we get strapped, we get pressured, we get our butt in the fire, and then all of a sudden we have to do something. All of a sudden it's like we don't have a choice anymore. Like, I can't pay my bills anymore. What am I going to do? And through that kind of chaos and stress often emerges our greatest breakthrough. And we don't even know it until afterwards when we look back. What I'm trying to do is give you some insight so that you can recognize it in real time instead of just afterwards, so that you can enjoy the journey and enjoy the pressure instead of just trying to survive it. Okay, so when people are climbing mountains, they want to get to the top, but if they don't want to just be dropped off by a helicopter on the top, they want to climb the mountain. Why? Because it's the climb that shapes them, that helps them mature, that gives them the adventure, that gives them the stories. It's not just getting to the top of the mountain, because they could get dropped off by a helicopter. It's the actual climb. It's the journey. You're going through a journey right now, and if it's hard, good. That's what's maturing you. Diamonds don't become sparkly and valuable and precious being run through feathers, right? they become strong and they can cut through steel because they've been forged under tremendous pressure for a long period of time, and that is what allowed them to emerge valuable and sparkly and shiny, right? And that's what you're going through right now. Or maybe you've been through that and you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It makes you stronger. As Jim Rohn used to say, no one can do your push-ups for you. You got to do the work, and then you get the results, and then you get to keep the results because you keep the mastery. So there was this guy, and his name was Keith Jarrett, and he was supposed to play this jazz piano for this group, and there was like 4,000 people that were going to be there, and he decided a couple hours before the program that he was not going to play because he saw the piano that they had for him, and it was a piece of crap. It was out of tune, some of the keys weren't working, the pedals were sticking, and he's like, I ain't playing this, right? And so he was talking to the woman who was running this event, and she happened to be this 17-year-old German girl. And she was freaking out, right? She was trying to do anything she could to get a fix for the piano, trying to tune it, trying to get the keys to work, trying to get the pedals to work, doing whatever she could. But it was still a messed up piano. And she was just had tears in her eyes. And he looked at her and he thought, you know what? He says, this girl, I can't let her down, and there's a whole bunch of people that are coming here expecting a good performance, and I don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to do it. And they decided to record the performance because he wanted to show other people who are planning events like this down the road how important it is to have a good quality piano. Otherwise, it's going to sound like this, you know, whatever was going to come out of it. And so he decides to start playing. And during the performance, he's sticking to the middle of the keys instead of hitting the other ones. He's literally standing up because the piano was too small for the people in the back of the room to hear it. So he's literally standing up and banging on the keys. You can even hear, if you listen closely, hear him moaning and kind of mumbling under his breath because he's not enjoying this performance. The funny thing about it is that performance, because of the sound of the piano and because this guy had the chops, because he had already prepared, he was able to throw out the rule book and just do whatever he could to make it work. And because of the weirdness of the sound and because of his ability, it ended up being one of the best-selling solo jazz piano albums of all time. And what I keep thinking is, thank God he decided to record it, right? So something that was chaos, something that was a mess, something that was perceived as painful that he didn't even want to do, produced the best-selling album ever. Interesting. So now we're taking a look at what's going on in your neck of the woods, all right? So what's going on with you? So let's break down your business. And I'm going to give you a few strategies that are going to help you to make more money, right? So that you can start putting some things together and putting some cash in your pocket almost right away. So the first thing that we want to take a look at is we got to figure out, what is your talent? What is your gift? What are you really good at? Are you really good at listening? Are you really good at getting things done? Are you a doer? Like I'm a doer, right? Just give me the list, I'm going to go get it done. Or are you the idea person? You're not so much good at finishing, but you're really good at starting and generating ideas, right? So are you a starter or are you a finisher? Are you someone who closes up loose ends? Are you really organized? Are you really passionate, right? Are you really a good writer? Or are you great with video or photography? Or maybe it's just that you're really good at talking with people. Whatever your skill or your talent is, figure out what you're good at, what you enjoy, right? Because those two things need to go together, what you're good at and what you enjoy, so that you have passion when you're doing it instead of feeling like, oh, this sucks every day, because then you're not going to have the right attitude. So sometimes people say, oh, you know, my job sucks and I just can't stand being there. And I always say, why don't you go to your boss and ask him what it would take for you to get a raise, right? Because if you had maybe 10 grand or 15 grand or maybe even just 5 grand more, $1,000 more a month, right? Would that make you more excited? Or maybe it's, you know, $20,000 more a year. Would that make you more excited? And if people would say, well, yeah, that would make it better, then go talk to your manager and say, hey, what would it take for me to make an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month? What would have to happen? And then let that be your plan. And then start to work towards it. The more value you bring, the more valuable you become. But let's say that you're in this for yourself. So you're a small business owner, or you're a sales professional, or you're an entrepreneur, some kind of creator or achiever. That's who most of the people that, you know, listen to me and that go through my programs, that's who they are. And so I'm going to focus on that for you. Okay. So the first thing you do is you figure out what your talents are. And then you figure out And maybe it's something that a product or a service that you have that's really great, or maybe it's a product or a service that somebody else has developed that you can really stand behind, that you can really enjoy, right? That you would want to get out to the world. You imagine the world's thirsty and you found the best water in the coolest cup, and your job is to get these thirsty people this water as fast as you can, right? So figure out what your talent is and what you're really good at. So just get out a piece of paper and just start writing down, this is what I like to do, and this is what I think I'm good at, and this is what other people would say that I'm good at. And if in the beginning you're like, I don't know, nothing, then keep asking yourself, but what if I was good at something? What would it be? You know, and if I was good at something else and I had to come up with something, what would it be? Right? And then all of a sudden you'll start getting more ideas and you write them down. Even if it feels like it's irrelevant, write it down, because it might end up being something that you come back to down the road and you're like, wow, I never even thought of that. I don't even know where that came from. So write down your talents and then write down, is it your product or your service or somebody else's product or service? What is it that you provide? Then, okay, you take that product or the service and you take out another piece of paper and you write a line down the middle. So you have two columns. And in column one, you talk about the problems that that service or product solves. What are the problems that it solves? And then what are the benefits of using this product? Now, a benefit isn't the end result. The benefit is what you get from having the end result. So if you were selling braces, right, teeth braces, right, the problem is people that have crooked teeth and it messes up their self-esteem, or they can't eat, or they have tooth decay and it's causing pain, you know, or something like that, right? And so they're going to get their chops fixed. And so you're going to offer braces because you work for this company that sells this and, you know, some kind of braces, and you just really think they're awesome. And then what's the benefit? The benefit is they get straight teeth, but what's the benefit of that? The benefit of that is that their self-esteem shoots through the roof. The benefit is that they can enjoy all kinds of wonderful foods that they couldn't enjoy before, which adds to the value of their life or the quality of their life. Or they're out of pain. Now they feel comfortable, which means that now they can put their energy into things that they love doing instead of coping with the pain that they're in all the time. So don't just go to the immediate benefit, go to the one that comes after that, the larger benefits. Because what you end up with is a sheet full of problems and pain points and benefits that are full of pleasure. See, every buying decision that we make is designed to move us away from pain or towards pleasure. So we want to make sure that we're always speaking in that way. Most people, they sell information or they sell details or they sell features. They're selling the braces. They're not selling the dazzling smile, right? And so we got to make sure that you're very clear on what the problems are that you solve and what are those problems that your customers are having, and then what are the benefits and the big benefits that they're going to get from using your product or service. Then what you do is you figure out, where are my customers, right? Now, your customers, you can do this in two ways. One, you can just start talking to people. Everywhere you go, you're going to run into other humans. So start talking to them and ask them questions about how's it going, what's going on in your life, what's the biggest challenge that you have right now, and just start talking to different people. And it helps you to start feeling more comfortable about sharing what you do, because a lot of times people are going to say, so what do you do for a living? And then you can say, oh, I help people have incredible smiles, people that have problems with their teeth and it causes pain or it messes with their confidence, and we have this product that makes them feel beautiful and confident. And they're like, oh my God, my niece is totally struggling with that. She won't even make eye contact with anybody, right? So you start to drum up business that way. Another way you can do it is you can go online and you can start looking at social media or Facebook groups or YouTube videos, right? Different things where you can find your audience that way. Or you can start putting out some value and they will find you. Another thing you can do is you can look at the other people out there. Do a Google search for the other people that are selling the same kind of bracelets or a different kind, and look at who they're marketing to. Get into one of their sales funnels, get some of their brochures, get some of their literature, go to their websites and notice what they're doing to attract customers, what words they're using, what pictures they're using, what phrases they're using, what free content they're giving away. And do what Russell Brunson, he calls funnel hacking, right? So you take this funnel and you look at their sales process and you just try to break it down and figure out what's working, and then figure out how you can kind of model it. You can't steal it, but you can model it, right? Figure out what's working. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. But those people are reaching the same audience as you, so you can watch what they're doing and start to do the same things. You can also find strategic partners who are people that are in kind of the same industry, or they're helping people with their confidence, or they're doing extreme makeovers or something like that, and or it's just dentists, right, that aren't orthodontists, and so they're serving the same customer but in a different way. And then you partner and you kind of all share and refer people back and forth to you, so that you're not having to spend a bunch of money on advertising. You can use strategic referrals and relationships to build your list, right? To build your, as Dan Kennedy used to call it, build your herd, right? Where you're getting more and more people into your program, right? So these are some strategies that you can use to start to find your customers. And then when you find them, what are you going to do, right? Well, when you find your customers, you've got to make sure that you've developed your pitch, which is your 10-second or your 30-second little introduction about who you are, who you serve, what pains you get rid of, and the benefits they get. Who you are, who you serve, the pains you get rid of, and the benefits that you create, right? So if we were talking about braces, I don't know why I got onto that, but that's what I'm on now, right? So, so my name is Tim, and I use Dental Smile Beauty product, right, to help people who are suffering from low self-confidence or pain due to dental challenges to be able to feel absolutely fantastic with their brand new smile, right? Something like that. Now, I'm just kind of off the top of my head. I would clean it up and polish it, and then I would write it down, and then I would practice it so many times that it rolled off my tongue, so that it was so smooth and easy, people would be like, wow, you are good, right? My teeth are just a little crooked, and I still want your dental beauty smile stuff, okay? So we want to make sure that you are practicing your pitch, so that when you're there with them, it's rehearsed, and you're able to share it, and then it causes them to say that wonderful thing, really? That's interesting. Tell me more about it, or how does that work? Right? That's what we call fish on. That means that you've hooked them. That means that you've created enough interest to continue the conversation. And then, of course, you would go in through your sales process. I've got a 7-step sales superstar checklist where you would take them through each step of the process and close them, right? So I'm all about creating one-step sales and conversion. So I've helped a lot of people double, triple, quadruple their sales conversion just by taking them through a specific process that is very different than a lot of stuff that you hear out there in the sales training world these days, right? So being a hypnotist, I have a very different spin on how to push those emotional buttons and do it with integrity, and how to enter that psychological conversation that people are having in their own minds that they might not even be aware of they're having, and how you can enter that conversation and cause them through ethical persuasion to demand to work with you right here, right now. So we'll talk about that during another show if you like. So tonight you work with your customer, and then you have a system for grabbing their attention, and then you close them. And one of the ways that you close them and you get them in your funnel, or you get them to say yes to your product or service, is by assuming the sale. You know, still a lot of people don't ever get the sale because they don't ask for it. They get all nervous, right? So they'll be talking about the program, and then when it comes to talking about the price, they get all nervous and fidgety. And when you come across insecure, then it's going to rub off on your customer or your prospect, and then suddenly they're going to feel insecure. They're like, why are you so nervous? And then it's going to make them nervous, and then they're going to hesitate instead of act, right? So you've got to assume the sale, which means that this is a done deal. You know it's going to help them so much. You believe it so much. You're so convinced that you come across with such passion and urgency, right? Because you're so excited, you know they can start it right away and they can feel awesome, right? Let's get this going. You miss 100% of the shots you never take, so take this shot. And you're so excited and so passionate about it that they become excited and passionate with you, and you get the sale. So now a lot of times people have bits of breakdowns there too, because of our limiting BS, belief systems, right? Our BS gets in the way, and it causes us to sabotage instead of getting the sale. Or we don't charge enough because we're afraid that other people won't pay it, or that we're going to lose the sale, so we cut price instead of adding value, which I see all the time. I'm constantly training salespeople out of that really horrible bad habit, because it's hurting the company that you're with, and it's hurting your pocket as well. We got to build value, not just cut price. And so anyway, that's for another time. So that's for tomorrow, actually. So tomorrow there's a webinar that I put together, And if you're not seeing this video live and you're seeing the recording of it, I'll have the replay so you can check it out. The link is below in the description, right? But it is going to be an awesome program that I put together that's called my Shurr Success Business Accelerator Program. And it's a virtual boot camp. So if you came to work with me, you know, it would cost a lot of money, but it would be worth every penny. So if you're ready for that, call me and let's make it rain, baby, right? I've hired the best coaches and now I've become one of the best coaches. And so now I want to help you get there. And then who knows, then you become one of the best coaches, right? That circle of life. So, but anyway, it's this awesome webinar. It's on the 3 secrets for how to turn your passion into profits, even if you're on a shoestring budget, which in the beginning, most of us are, right? And so I'll show you how to be able to start using the 3 secrets to make more money and make it more sustainable instead of the feast and famine, which is what happens for most people where they're going from paycheck to paycheck, how to get off that emotional financial roller coaster, and how to create a system that allows you to get predictable, sustainable results over time. And so it's going to be an awesome webinar. It's complimentary, so it's free. I'm not charging for it, so check it out. Make sure you register right after this video, and you'll be glad you did, or you can watch the replay, and you'll love it. So it's really going to be an awesome program. Okay, so let's review, right? So 1, if you're having a hard time, then recognize that sometimes that's what it takes to get you in action, to get you moving, to get you to go to those places you don't want to go. And when you go there, it'll cause you to stretch. It'll cause you to do more, be more, learn more, experience more. And that's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you stronger. That's what makes you smarter and wiser. You know, I have failed way more times than I have succeeded. Although I don't think of it as failure, I think of it as feedback. There is no failure. There's only feedback. So I've got so much feedback that, that it's helped me succeed, right? And so now it doesn't mean that once you succeed, you're just good, because it's like climbing that mountain. You climb that mountain, then you climb down, then you look for the next mountain to climb, right? But you're enjoying the climb now. And it's taken some of the pressure off because you have better tools, better systems, a better pitch, a better message, a better campaign, a better system that allows you to prosper at a higher level. So you want to make sure that you are recognizing that if you're having a tough time, or if you're kicking butt right now and having fun, enjoy every second of it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get out your piece of paper and you're going to write down, what are my talents, what are my gifts, right? And then what's the product or service that I'm going to sell? Maybe it's mine, maybe it's somebody else's. And then get out another piece of paper with the 2 columns and put, what are the pains I solve and what are the pleasures and the ultimate benefits that they get from using my product or service, or the product or service I'm going to sell. Once you get that, then you figure out, who's my ideal customer, right? Who would be someone that I would love to work with? And then let's go find them. Right? And you can find them through the ways that I suggested. So you find your customer. Then you practice your pitch, right? So that you know who you are, who you help, what the pain is that you solve, and what's the pleasure that they get, the ultimate benefit from working with you and your product or service. You practice your pitch, you get it really smooth, and then you start going through the sales conversion process, and then you ask for the sale, and you assume the sale. You assume that it's a done deal so that you're passionate and you have urgency and you have consistency, and it's awesome. Woo! Okay. Hey, I just took my first breath in 30 minutes. So anyway, if you have any questions on this, leave me a comment below. I love the comments. If you like this, please subscribe to my channel. Share it with your cool friends, not the whiners, not the critics, not the complainers. Share it with your cool friends. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that are like you, right? So the ones that are out there who want to make a bigger difference in the world, who want to make the world a better place. That's like me, that's like you, right? And so share this video with them. Put this video out in different places. It helps me to get the message out. It helps my family. It really makes a big difference in my life when you subscribe and when you share this video with others. So you can make sure that you watch the other videos during my Maximizing Your Influence TV show. I've done them on how to lose weight, and I've done them on overcoming anxiety. And if you have other requests or other things, topics that you'd like me to talk about, please let me know. The next one next week is going to be on self-sabotage, how to eliminate self-sabotage. I'm going to share several of the most common ways that we sabotage ourselves, and then how to flip it. Because if you flip the self-sabotages, then what you get are some of the most powerful ways to harness the full power of your mind. Ooh, I know, right? Exciting. So anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed this. Please subscribe, sign up for the register. register. Register now for the webinar. Sign up now and register for the webinar, and then I'll see you next week. All right. So thanks so much. I really appreciate you watching this video. Give me the thumbs up if you don't mind. That would be awesome. I really appreciate it. The more thumbs up you give, the more thumbs up you shall receive. It's that karma thing, right? And work on applying what you've learned today, and let's work together to make your life a sure success. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.